I am Vinnie and folks, your good intentions have been stolen. But don't worry, I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent when we start this process, but hang in there. Work at it just a little bit. Before long, you will be lean and mean. Just like the woman on the other mic, folks. She comes in every now and then on Friday because, quite frankly, I just rather talk to her than just about anyone. I'm talking about the beautiful Miss Anna Vocino. How you doing, Pumpkin?
That's a really nice applause break. Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. You've been under the weather just a little bit, right?
Yeah, I've had a little bronchial thing going on. And listen, I was very lucky. I didn't get the COVID. I didn't get sick. I haven't been sick in almost 2 years. So I feel like my immune system was like, we're going to make this one real good on you. We're going to see where you are.
And I'm going to knock on wood here.
Yeah.
Because
you should do that, because once you get sick, you'll be like, oh no.
Yeah, I forgot what it was like to be sick. I haven't had the flu in a couple of years. I think Christmas 2 years ago. I would always get like a 24-hour. Tallulah is going to be editing this and nodding her head because Christmas I would always get like a 24-hour deal.
Right.
And Serena always said, well, it's the only time, and this is kind of bullshitty, but I'll go with it just for the sake of this conversation. She would go, it's the only time that you let down for just a moment.
It's right? True. I believe that theory.
Where you relax and all of a sudden you're not going a million miles an hour. And on top of that is generally the only time when I go off of NSNG. If I'm going to go off of NSNG, it's right around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Right.
And usually it's more Christmas Eve than it is Christmas Day, because that's when Serena is making the chocolate covered pecan pie.
Of course.
And, that's my kryptonite. That's why it's never in the house. And when you're me and you don't eat sugars and grains hardly ever, when you have that, and usually it's the day before or whatever. And I'm not blaming the flu on that. I'm just saying it's the perfect storm of letting down and inflammation and the time of year where you're out shopping, and I'm in department stores or wherever I'm buying stuff. That's right. I'm old school, folks. I don't just shop on Amazon for Christmas. I actually go out and look for the gifts, and maybe I'm touching things and rubbing my nose and I'm getting the rhinovirus and whatever. And Tallulah,
breathing those droplets.
Yeah. And
we didn't even know about the droplets before COVID. Now we know all about droplets.
Oh, I knew all about the droplets before COVID. I mean, that's how we get rhinovirus. People expel this and you touch it, and then you rub your eyes or your nose. Next thing you know, you have the flu also. And which brings me kind of a little something I wanted to bring up today. I know we have a lot to talk about with you. We're going to talk about just eating 101, basically.
Yeah.
And in the form
sauce 101.
Yeah, I want to talk about your sauces versus maybe the other stuff that's out there, because sure. I get asked that question sometimes, and on and on. But today, and again, Tallulah's ears are going to perk up a bit, because today I actually feel pretty good. Now, what does that mean?
Oh.
And I'm in pain every day of my life.
I was going to say it has to do with your joint pain, right?
Yeah. Look, I played a lot of years of football, 13 to be exact, college, D1 football and the whole thing. And I was an undersized player. I had to play over the top, and I threw my body around like you wouldn't believe. It was just reckless abandon for me for 13 seasons.
Right.
Anyone who played with me will come on this podcast or anywhere and go, yeah, this guy was out of his mind. But it's how I do everything.
Right.
I'm not naturally talented at anything. The only reason I do okay at things is I'm willing to go, how people bullshit, go, oh yeah, man, I'm 200%. I actually go 200%. I give it my all plus. And, now I have bone and bone in 2 of my discs in my neck. They're telling me I need surgery. I'm putting it off for as long as I can. I don't know about these surgeries. They put fake discs in and the whole thing. I'm a little worried. I'm a little scared. It's close to your spinal cord.
Imagine if you didn't do NSNG.
Well, that's the thing. I keep my inflammation pretty low, but man, the past month, Anna, it has just been. I've been in pain. Serena says I never see a smile on your face ever. I'm
I know.
walking
Whenever I
around.
talk to you, you're in pain.
Yeah, I'm just in pain. I'm just in pain. And you will go, geez, Vinny, any reprieve ever? I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm up. People go, man, you're tweeting at 2 and 3 in the morning. What? Yeah, when you can't sleep, you might as well do something. You might as well work. To
I
me,
agree with
tweeting
that.
is working. I'm answering questions and what have you. So for the past couple of nights, I've gotten full nights of sleep. I've gone to bed earlier, meaning 11-ish. I've slept
Good job.
until 7, which is 8 hours for me, man. That's a long
That's
night.
pretty amazing. And not waking up in the middle of it too.
Yeah, just sleeping through. I don't know what changed. My diet is spot on. I don't eat crap. I haven't been eating junk. Full disclosure, a few nights ago, 4 or 5, last weekend. So we're doing this on a Friday. So last Sunday we had people over and the guy brought a bottle of wine and Vinny, you got to try the wine. He opens up the special bottle. Serena doesn't drink. So I'm there going, oh, I would love a glass, right? Had a glass of wine. Monday, I had extra pain, whatever it is in wine or whatever, it's just extra pain. Man, after that.
I actually find wine to be inflammatory. And I think people want to blame the sulfites and the yeast. I don't know. I think it's the sugars. And trust me, it bums me out because I adore wine.
I love a glass of wine too. I did it. I went, oh my God.
I know.
I was up. I was
be very sparing with it.
I was bent over. I was in bed. I do stretches in bed. And Serena knows she'll wake up to go to the bathroom or something. She'll see me doing stretches in bed just so I can hopefully go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Right. Well, about 2 days ago, it's Friday. So let's say Wednesday, good night's sleep. So Thursday, I was working out. And by the way, you'll go, geez, Vin, if you're in pain, why are you working out? It's the only thing that makes me feel better. To hit some light weights, to get on my spinner or my rowing machine. It's the only thing that loosens me up, gets some blood flowing. I feel better momentarily. When I'm moving, I know it's odd. When I'm moving, it feels better, right? Man, Wednesday, I got some sleep. Thursday, I had a good workout and felt okay. Had some pain late in the day yesterday, but woke up this morning feeling relatively normal for me.
Great.
Normal for me, meaning the pain was manageable. I was feeling okay. I was, doing all of this, and I went and shot skeet this morning because it's noontime right now, folks. I'm working from now until midnight tonight. That's my schedule. You go, oh, Mr. Go and shoot skeet in the morning. Yeah. I have most people have their evenings off. I have my mornings off. And then I work until 11, 12 o'clock at night. Tonight, I will be working past midnight. This is the first of 5 podcasts. I'm also editing a movie. And I'm also, along with Andy Schreiber, running 3 companies. So there's a lot going on. And that's when I realized, while I was shooting skeet this morning and feeling better, I also noticed that between each round of skeet, I was peeing a lot. I had to go pee. I'm like, well, geez, I didn't drink. All of a sudden, inflammation is just, all the inflammation I've been building up, it's all leaving my body. 2 good nights of sleep, Anna. I've been peeing like a racehorse all morning. Just, it's like the inflammation.
That's my July challenge to myself.
Is to pee all morning?
No, well, I'll do that anyway. I'm doing it right now.
At your age?
I'm peeing right now.
Yeah, she's got a diaper on, folks.
No, my challenge is to go to bed and have lights out by 10:30 and not read a device, even a Kindle, from 10:30. So last night I know we're recording this July 2nd. So last night I made it to 11 p.m. But tonight is going to be 10:30. So help me God.
Well, Anna, and
And I
this
slept
makes
till
me,
5. So I went from 11 to 5 with
let's
6
talk.
hours. 6 hours is a big night's sleep for me and not waking up. So I really want to get to, it would be my dream to get to 7 hours, not
Yeah.
interrupted. Like 6
Yeah.
hours is really good. Usually it's like 5.
Yeah.
That's not healthy. I want to do what you did because I just have this feeling that the remaining inflammation is my terrible sleep habits.
It is, Anna. And you, just like me, we work. I don't think people understand. I want to get into this just a little bit because Anna is basically me with a vagina.
That's true. And a penis.
Yeah. You have a penis too?
Yeah, I have a lot
Wow.
of penises and a lot of vaginas.
Can I see?
I have multiple gonads.
She's
I
got
have
everything.
multi-gonadotropin. I don't know what that means.
Gonadotropin is actually a hormone.
I know. I just like to say that word. I don't know what it is.
Is
I also
actually
like-
is derived from the urine of a pregnant mare. How do I have this
I
information?
have
And I'm not
gonadotropin
the richest man in the
autophagy.
world.
By the way, I thought autophagy was pronounced autophagy. And remember,
Okay.
we had on some big doctor, and I was like, so what about autophagy? And they're like, autophagy. I was like, yeah. Oh,
What's the one I like to pronounce wrong? There's one I like to do wrong. I do it
Kurt
phonetically.
Lapierre?
Say again?
Kurt Lapierre?
No, it's an actual word, and I'll say it phonetically. Kind of like some people will do hordes devore, like that.
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. But the
I
inflammation.
love a horse divorce. Anyway, Anna's like you with a vagina. Yes.
Yeah. And we just work and work and work. And with me, I don't play any games on the phone. It's not because I'm better than you. I just don't see any use in it. I don't do anything with a phone other than work.
Right.
When my phone is in my hand, I'm either tweeting or putting something up or sending something to Scott Mulvaney or Andy or something. I do not walk around with a phone in my hand. I think I'm the last American or the last person on the planet that does not walk around with a phone in my hand. I refuse to do it.
Right.
Right. But, I get into this work mode thing where, I just keep working. There is no one to tell me to stop. And for the past couple of days, I just put a stop button on it. So you'll say, well, Vinnie, what's keeping you so busy? I'm working on putting my book Monty out again.
Great.
I hated the way it was written when it was written. That's why I never talk about it.
Are you doing it with Telemachus?
I am doing it with Telemachus, and I'm rewriting the whole thing. Instead of just, putting it out there, I'm redoing the whole thing. And I've been going through it systematically and just making it smoother because I learned a lot about writing along the way. And the people that did it before, I just thought you handed in the crappy script and they fix it. And there's so many misspellings and so much grammatical errors in it.
They don't fix it. They print it as you got to get an editor or two.
Well, now I'm editing myself and I'm working with Telemachus, and so many people want that book. So I'm putting it out again.
They have good editors / proofreaders. And I suggest you hire another third party just to do a once over.
Oh, I will.
Okay, good. Cause I did that with the second book, especially. And I was still shocked about, there were probably 4 or 5 pretty annoying typos still in there that, despite me looking at it 75 times.
No, I'm going to have an editor. I'm going to pay an editor. I always do, but
yeah,
that wasn't done the last time. I was very ashamed of what came out. It was a beautiful story and it got screwed up. And excuse me. So this time I'm doing it right.
You
so
certainly sound like me.
Yeah. Can we get this through the mic?
No.
No. Okay. So I'm working on that. And by the way, I'm going to have Serena read it as a children's book. Great. And we're just going to put it out. That's going to come out later this year. I'm tired of people charging other people $65 on eBay to get the book that I originally sold for less than $10.
Oh, when do I get to talk about what's happening on Amazon? Because that's what's happening.
We're going to talk about that today too. I have the movie I'm working on constantly. We had a breakdown over at NSNG Foods, the ultra fat. Everyone knows we've been sending letters out. We're offering some
machinery breakdown or shipping.
We had a big machinery breakdown.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that's been a headache from hell for Andy more than me. But when you're dealing with all these things and you get stressed out and the whole thing, and as soon as I let that stress go, earlier in the week, I started sleeping more. I started feeling better. By today, I'm now feeling almost normal. Folks, I'm telling you, when things start going south, think about it. Get yourself moving in the right direction. It really, really, really makes a difference. You know, I couldn't see the forest for the trees, and now today I feel almost normal. So always think about
amazing.
that. And when I talk to people on the phone, people that have nighttime jobs and they work dog shift and all this kind of stuff, get the
That's
rest
rough.
whenever you can get rest, because it makes a huge difference. The other thing that makes a huge
And if you
difference,
have babies too, stop trying to clean your house while your baby's sleeping. You need to take a nap while your baby's sleeping.
yeah,
I'm telling you.
do what
The house
Anna
can
does.
wait.
Her house is still messed up, and her daughter's out of
My
college.
sleep is still messed up.
Yeah, Anna, are you hearing an echo, or is that just
No.
at my end?
I hope it's just on your end, but not through the recorder.
No, well, hopefully Bill can clean it up. Before we move on, Anna's got a lot of good stuff we're going to talk about here today. I want to know about what's going on with her book, because that sounds odd to me.
Yeah.
And we want to talk about the food and everything else. But before we do so, I want to talk about Belcampo.com.
Oh, yeah.
Belcampo. Folks, you want to get Belcampo.
You do.
I use it. Anna uses it. We have it here almost every day. Belcampo.com. 15% off right now by putting in promo code Vinnie, Vinnie. No, it won't be Y. Promo code Vinnie, 15% off every single time. This is not a one-time offer, folks. Go back to Belcampo. Get that. This is meat. If you guys remember, we had a meat vendor once before, and when I would ask for 6% off, they would go, "No, can do. No, can. If you want the free shipping, we cannot do more than 5%. They're doing 15% off and free shipping over $100 at Belcampo. Go there now. Get your ribeyes. Get your tomahawk steak.
They have an organic tenderloin filet that's grass fed and finished for $25.
That's ridiculous.
If you got that at Morton's, it would be $75 at least.
Easily. Just to let Morton scorch it up for you.
And they will overcook it every time.
And or they will undercook it. They will do something. Morton, I don't know how Morton's became a thing. I really don't.
That's a conversation for another time, but just so you know, we're on the same page.
Yeah. People,
Morton's.
Morton's. I'm like, really?
No, and their sides suck.
Yeah, I could screw up a steak. Why go to Morton's and let them do it? But the people that never screw up a steak is Anya Fernald and company over at Belcampo.
I'm getting this organic tenderloin filet.
Yeah, Anna, fill up your cart. You got to get over. Look, Anna, here's what you do.
Yeah.
Go with.
I'm going to get 4 of those. Hold on. Let me put 4 of these in my cart.
That's 100. But you see, if you get the discount, you'll be below 100.
Get something else. So I can get 15% off and still get free shipping, because you get $99, you get free shipping. Hold on.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to get the bacon. I'm gonna get the pork belly. Oh, but I like the ground pork and the ground beef. I actually have a hard time finding ground pork at my grocery store.
Yeah.
But I like to mix half ground beef, half ground pork with my meatballs that I make.
Yeah.
So hold on. Pork belly, add to cart.
There she goes. Tell me what the total is, Anna. Can you let's do it right here.
Hold on, let me search. Ground pork. Oh, they're out of ground pork. Okay. Well, listen, I have the 4 fillets and I have the pork belly, but I think I need one more thing.
Get one more thing.
Let me see if they have the meatballs. Best
yeah,
sellers.
You love the meatball.
I do love
In
the
the
meatballs.
NSNG meatballs. They're not called NSNG meatballs.
They're called keto meatballs.
Keto meatballs, but they're NSNG friendly.
Yeah.
Go get those.
Oh my God, they have the tri-tip. You guys, if you don't get their tri-tip and make, oh my God, hold on. I might have to get the tri-tip and that's also grass-fed and finished. I've had their tri-tip before. It's amazing. And then go to my website and get the Santa Maria dry rub recipe. It is the best. You guys, I've been talking about tri-tip and you can't get it on the East Coast or the Midwest. You cannot get this cut of meat. It's only a West Coast thing. Get this thing. I'm telling you. Oh my God. Okay. I'm not getting it.
Every time you say Santa Maria dry rub, I go
Yeah.
right to Dirty Sanchez and Blum.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, this has got to be one
Okay,
of
so
those things.
let me tell you, my total is $126.94. Shipping
Okay.
is free. So, but I'm going to go to checkout.
Put in promo code Vinny.
Yep.
Make sure it works. Here we go.
Apply. It worked.
Good. And what's your total now?
$107.90.
So you're still over $99 by
That's right.
$8.90.
Good on me.
Yeah. So you just saved probably $20 in shipping and like 17. You probably saved $37.
Yeah.
You cannot go to the store and get that quality meat for that.
No.
Impossible.
No.
To your door. And you're not even
That's right.
burning gas. You're not wasting your time.
Right.
It comes to your door. Belcampo is perfect
Amazing.
every time. Promo code Vinny. Okay, Anna.
Yeah.
Are you done making your order there? Because we need to move on.
I'm done.
Okay. So I'm over here squeezing my nuts again.
Squeeze your nuts.
Squeezing my nuts.
What flavor is that?
This is the one with the coffee. The coffee.
That's my
almond.
favorite one.
Yeah, everyone loves the coffee almond.
Yeah. In fact, I'm due for a shipment to come soon.
Well, it might take a week or so, Anna, because
that's okay.
We're a little late. You know, that
I'm
was one of my
patient.
headaches. I'm going to be eating this. You know,
You better reserve your resource, conserve your stash.
I'm almost out.
I never have any of my sauce. It's always gone. And I have to go do the food demo tomorrow and then it'll be extra gone. This
is one of about 10 pouches that I have. And I have a lot of hiking coming up this weekend where I'm going to be using a lot of these ultra fats. And today my workout is in between every podcast. This is one of 5 podcasts I'm doing today. So, you know, I'm just working out in between shows. So I won't leave this dungeon until God only knows when. Okay, Anna.
Okay, can we start with Amazon? Because they just wrote me.
Okay, explain the way normal people would understand. Pretend I'm in
so let's say you're listening to this podcast and you're like, I'm all in for NSNG. I read Vinny's PDF. I'll take his recommendation to go get Eat Happy and Eat Happy Too. I'm going to go to Amazon and buy these books. So you go to Amazon to get Eat Happy and you type it in, you find them. And so, for example, you go to Eat Happy Too, and then if you're going to buy Eat Happy Too, you go, hold on. It says the price is $14.96, but you have to pay for shipping. And it says sold by Sweet Home Liquid 2 instead of just buying it from Amazon. But then you're like, well, hold on. I don't want to pay for shipping. So you like look at other sellers and you can click through and you can find, like, after a lot of clicking, you could say, oh, it sells from Amazon, but this way. And then I can get my Prime shipping. But then you're like, well, wait a minute. The price is up, which, by the way, they've jacked up the prices on my books. I don't know why. They used to be $22. Now they're $34 and $31. It's driving me crazy. So let me mute this. So I wrote them and I was like, so this is my Amazon book page. Right. It's my page. I created this page. I created the listing. It's my book. Why is it defaulting to a third-party seller when you go to buy the book instead of my thing?
What do they have to say about that?
Well, they changed back the first book. No problem. They're like, sorry about that. It should, say Amazon. They changed back the first book. They just wrote me saying, I understand you would like us to make your buy box as the primary buy box for this ASIN, meaning it's a book code. Please know that the primary buy box is selected by our automated system based on various factors, such as current inventory, list price, vendor lead time, etc. Our system calculates these factors and decides which seller or vendor wins the buy box. I assure you that our system is set up correctly and does not have an issue with it. As soon as your offer meets all the factors, the system will make your buy box as the primary buy box. Ridiculous. Hence, I am sorry to inform you that you will not be able to manually update your offer as the primary offer. Please know that although your offer, I think they think that I'm a third-party seller, but I'm not. I am the seller. It's my book. So what do? Do I just take the book down? Because here's what happened. 2 weeks ago, I got my Amazon analytics, and the second book for the first time ever showed 0 sales.
That's not right. No, Anna, you got to get in touch with them. You got to get a person on the phone.
I have been trying to, and I will try to continue to call them. But so just so you guys know, if you want to buy Eat Happy 2 and support this podcast, you have to kind of click through and find the thing. Or Amazon's given me such troubles. If anybody has been listening for a while, you know that Amazon has been really tricky, especially with the second book. I swear it's snake bit. They put some note in there that's like, if we can find a way to fuck with this book, let's fuck with this book. And the ironic thing is that the second book is a far superior cookbook to the first book, but the first book sells 3 times as many copies. I think because it's the first one, people want to go in order.
Yeah.
And to me, the ironic thing is that the recipes are better in the second one than in the first one. Not that the first one's bad. It's not, it's wonderful, but it's just a basic primer. You know what I mean? And then the second one is much more, I don't want to say sophisticated because none of my recipes are sophisticated. They're for the home cook, but they're more fun. They're, you know what I mean? They're better.
Yeah.
And so it blows my mind.
Amazon, as you always hear me say, it's a love-hate relationship. Folks, when someone has that kind of power, and by the way, I'm a guy who my movies are on Amazon Prime. My book is on Amazon. My vitamins are on Amazon. It's all on Amazon.
Oh, I get hate mail for people saying I'm shit talking Amazon. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm just telling you, I'm being honest with you guys, the struggles. It's my book. And I'm the one who put up that sales page, but other people are getting the buy box. What?
Yeah.
Should I just take it down and only sell it through my distributor? I might.
Amazon is just a crazy thing. Look, we talk about it at the end of every podcast. They just wrote to us one day. I've been an Amazon influencer for 7 or 8 years, 9 years, some crazy amount of years.
They changed the influencer.
Yeah. And they just wrote to us one day and said, hey, we're changing how much we're going to give you guys percentage wise. And we did the math and it's like, well, this doesn't seem right. They're cutting us by like 75% overall.
Right.
Which means I couldn't afford to do this podcast anymore. This podcast was running off of Amazon. And that's when I started begging people to go back and it's like, hey, please, if you got a couple of extra shekels every month, I know we're all hurting, but I want to keep this thing going. I don't want to have to fire anyone because if I fire anyone, I don't know how to get it done. I just mentioned, I'm maxed out as it is. I can't do any more of the work. And luckily people have come through. People have come through. I was just thanking Jackie Jones on a podcast. She's coming out on a Saturday podcast at some point.
Oh, good.
I was thanking her for her generous donation every month. She does the superfan page, and it's all because people are doing that this podcast still goes on. It costs a lot to run it, and I can't do it without those donations. I just can't, because it just drains right out of my pocket. And I'm just not willing to go to that length. It's so anyway, Amazon, it's a crazy thing. It's a love-hate relationship. Look, we will have vitamins. We have to ship vitamins, Anna, to like 3 or 4 different warehouses around Amazon warehouses around the country. Right. So we'll have vitamins. We'll have 1,000 of them in this warehouse, 1,000 units in that warehouse. We'll have 3,000 units of, say, our multivitamin in 3 different warehouses.
Right.
Amazon. And then one day we'll just wake up and it'll go, this item out of stock. Amazon, you got 3,000 of my items.
Right.
How can it be out of stock?
Right.
By the way, you go with 3,000, that seems like a lot. Yeah. Times the magnesium, times the vitamin D, times the vitamin B12, times the ultra salt. So 3, 6, 9, 12. That's a lot of products sitting in a warehouse when you wake up one morning and Amazon just goes, sorry, out of stock.
So is it a mistake in their algorithm? They lost it? Or remember that when I launched my book, how they had 8,000 copies sitting on the loading dock that they didn't unpack for 6 weeks?
No, we will get in touch with them, and Andy will, and they'll go, oh yeah, look at that, little glitch in the system there. Okay, we fixed it, and then we'll call them 2 days later. Hey, it's still not fixed. Yeah, we're working on it. Oh, okay. Guess what? I got product sitting there, and people are buying my product and trying to buy it, and I can't do business. You know, if anyone does a business, they understand cash flow is a real deal.
Yeah.
The
Especially when
cash
you're doing a
flow-
product, you need
Yeah,
to be
you know,
moving
I
the
can't
product.
make more product if you're sitting on my product telling people you're out of my product,
Right.
and I got 12,000 units sitting somewhere.
Well, I
Right.
got to point, I got to bring something else up to you.
Go
And
on.
I know you're not on Pinterest, but this is the direction things are going. Last night I got an email from Pinterest, and I honestly think these things are spams when people write me. I'm like, oh, they're just trying to capture my Pinterest username and ID, you know, phishing scam. But I got an email from Pinterest saying your Pinterest account has been suspended. Now, Pinterest is a great place for food, you know, for recipes and food pictures.
Sure.
It's a visual social media thing. And frankly, it's gotten completely bloated with spammy things, a lot of links that don't work. I use it for home decor ideas, and I've remodeled houses using basically Pinterest. Like, I want to do this look and that look. And people use it a lot for recipes, and it drives a lot of traffic to what it is that we're doing, because it's a lot of people who search keto or gluten-free or low carb, and then they get to the things that we're doing. And in fact, a lot of the traffic on the recipe site of my website comes from Pinterest. Pinterest and Facebook are the two big ones. Every now and then I'll pay for an ad if there's like a really well performing thing.
Right.
Pinterest is an interesting thing, and it is a visual medium. And I like that how I've done Pinterest. I have an assistant who makes fresh pins every day. She posts new things because they want fresh content, but my links are all active. It's all great. Why would my account be suspended? I really have like literally the most benign Pinterest account.
Right.
And I appealed it, and I wrote a note. I said, I even use your third-party app, Tailwind. I pay them to make sure everything is compliant. And they reinstated it fairly quickly, which is good. Sometimes they want to make sure it's not a bot, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Then there's a big news article. It came out in Forbes that Pinterest is cracking down on anybody in the weight loss space.
Really?
If you pinned a before and after picture, like a Transformation Tuesday, how you do on Instagram.
Yeah, sure.
If you pinned something, a vitamin or a supplement, they're cracking down on anything that mentions the word weight loss, anything like that, because they're trying to get rid of the scammers and spammers.
And rightly
and
so.
what they're doing is shutting down legit people who are trying to get information to people. And so I was like, oh, that, and then Danielle said, oh yeah, we just did, I was trying to add the hashtag weight loss because people are looking for low carb weight loss.
Right.
You know, we're trying to be smart about this. That's why it got shut down. It got reinstated, but I was just like, this is where it's going.
Well, look, I mean, I was getting threatening
where it
letters
is, I guess.
I was getting threatening letters from Facebook because I was using the F word, fat. And they said, you're fat shaming. It's like, how can bacon fat be fat shaming?
That reminds me, I need to tell her not to use the hashtag high fat, low carb, because I think the word fat is probably a trigger word for their.
Yeah, I mean, they're all looking at the word fat. And guess what, folks? Sorry, if you're fat, you're not healthy. Sorry, I don't care what Dove has told you about, hey, love your body if you're fat. It's okay to love yourself. But if you have a problem with weight, it's not about your aesthetic. That's not the problem.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, I like a woman with a little extra something, something. But if you have a problem with your weight, you're going down the road of type 2 diabetes. You're going down the road of metabolic syndrome. You're going down the road of high insulin. You're going down the road of fatty liver disease, sleep apnea. You're going to be on 6 drugs because you were too busy out there loving your fucking body, Dove. Thank you. And all of these other companies that are doing this, right? We didn't have this problem in 1975. We didn't. It didn't exist, right? Now it does. Now it does. You know, we were this morning, Serena and I, look, we're nerds, we're weirdos. And she started singing that song, I'm Too Sexy. Remember Right Said Fred?
That's right.
I'm too sexy for my bed. And we were like, what were the words to that? What was it? We were trying to figure out the words. It's like, I don't know. He was like too sexy for like his car, I think, or
He's too
his
sexy for
clothes,
himself or something. I don't
yeah,
know.
it was like he was just taking, as the British say, he was taking a piss out. And it was kind of this funny song. And it was like around, I said, yeah, I remember I just got into LA and that song was popular. It was like 90, 91, something like that. So I pulled it up and we started playing it and we were watching the videos. And she goes, look at the women in this video. This is what models used to look like. And we get it. We all want to have models that look like us now. I get it. I do. I get it.
Well,
You know, and we have mannequins, we have heavy set mannequins, we have all this going on, but we're not moving in the right direction.
it's an interesting dichotomy because it's like representation is extremely important. Yes. Self-worth and self-esteem are extremely important. Yes. But I guess it's like if you had a cancer patient, you wouldn't be like, oh, you're unworthy because you have cancer.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we do have a tendency to say to fat people, you're unworthy because you're fat. That's been the message.
Which is the wrong.
That's not your message, but that's been the message. So I understand, again, we're coming back to the pendulum swinging back the other way. And so a voice of reason needs to step in and say, if you're metabolically unsound and unhealthy, it doesn't mean you're unworthy. It doesn't mean you're not beautiful or a wonderful human. It just means we're trying to get you metabolically sound. Literally, that's it.
And here's the thing. Every morbidly obese person I work with, nobody wants to be morbidly obese. Number one.
Of course not.
They're not lazy. All of the things that you would think.
But everybody wants to love themselves.
Everybody wants to, label people who have a fat problem. Oh, they're lazy. Oh, they can't control themselves when it comes to eating. No, if these people could, they would. Trust me. Trust me. I've been working with morbidly obese people for 40 years.
Yeah.
Nobody understands them as well as I do and feel their pain and try to help them as much as I do. But we shouldn't start running campaigns telling people that stay fat. That's basically what these campaigns are saying. Hey, you know what? Just buy bigger clothes.
Is it possible to send a message of you should feel worthy and beautiful and wonderful and also pursue health? Like, why can't we do that simultaneously?
That would be a better message. That would be a better message. Because
isn't that the drive for human accomplishment anyway, whether it's on the topic of weight or money or relationship?
Yeah.
Love where you are and be eager for the change that's ahead. What's wrong with that? Amen. That's how we base our entire, that's what drives the human, machine to move forward.
Yeah. I can easily get behind that. Absolutely. Absolutely. But we live in this crazy world where if you say something, you're the bad guy. I used to complain back in the 90s when the whole world was, and again, big corporations and commercials. One of the companies that kind of started this was Subway, the people selling you crap.
The Subway where the bread's not even a bread?
Yeah, that place.
Tuna's not even tuna. They get sued constantly because their food is not food.
Yeah, there was no tuna.
Their spokesperson was a pedo.
Yeah, well, they didn't know that. So that's the one thing where, they got rid of him as soon as they figured out that he had.
That's true. They did.
He was a pedophile. But that the point I wanted to bring up was Jared. They have this guy and he's lean and he's standing there going, in every ad, I used to wear these pants, and he's holding up these pants that he could fit 3 Jareds in. And he goes, all I did was I started eating Subway every day and somehow miraculously lost all the weight. And a lot of ads were that, right? They were, hey, I used to be fat. Now I'm thin. Go do what I'm doing. Right. And that was the whole messaging back in the 90s. I did it by eating Subway. You could do it. Okay, great. You're never going to do it eating Subway. I don't know what Jared did or how he did it or why he did it, but that was a bad message, right? We're telling people go eat Subway. Diet watch.
I've been meaning, I bought a diet book from the junk store.
Yeah.
From I believe it's the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
68. And one day I want to go through this thing. It's amazing.
And we should do
a Diet Watcher's Guide.
We should do a section on each chapter every week on a Monday.
It's incredible.
Let's start doing that next Monday.
The best 50 cents I've ever spent in my entire life. Look at these ladies. These ladies will tell you how to reduce. Look at their faces.
Yeah, look at that.
They're smug, marmy faces.
Can we talk about each chapter once a week?
I would love that.
Let's start next week. That's your homework. But yeah, it's just a bad message. We started going, hey, I used to be fat, now I'm thin, so listen to me. Right? Well, what does Jared know about weight loss?
Right.
Nothing. See, nobody was interested in, in having a Vinnie or anybody show up to say, do all this stuff, because they would have said, oh, you guys look like you're preaching at people. Well, maybe it should have been people like me. But you see, they weren't listening to that either, right? Because they still don't want to listen to the truth. I have 2 movies out there, and all I get is shadow banned, right? They're trying to make me go away. The more you tell the truth, the more they try to make me go away.
Well, the truth isn't very profitable, and it's kind of boring, because when people are like, oh, I can just make steak and broccoli and enjoy a meal and lose weight. Oh, that's it?
Yeah, not very sexy, is it?
No, it's not very sexy. It's not very profitable. It's not like that injection that people are finna do with the Wegovy, where they're
that's
gonna.
the new thing.
Where big pharma is gonna make billions of dollars, and people
have
will
another
fail
shot
and die.
Another shot. The last time we had some kind of drug, it was called Fen-Phen. People were dying left and right from it. So,
well, this is like that, but you directly inject it into your body instead of taking it through your stomach. So cool. And by the way, the number one bad side effect of it is it basically destroys your pancreas, the one organ that you've already destroyed eating the standard American diet that you need to heal. Yeah.
Well, go on, folks.
There we go.
Go do that. Anna,
so why don't we do a quick 101 then?
Let's do the 101, not the 1-on-1, the 101.
101, yeah.
Do people know what that even means anymore? In college,
you do the 101.
Yeah, in your freshman year, you do a lot of 101. And then in sophomore year, you have a lot of 202s, or you could take them.
It's the survey class. You would take the Western Civ, the English 101.
Yeah.
We have NSNG 101.
Yeah, we would every now and then we do a 101, which sounds like 1-on-1. And I want Anna to do a little brief 101 today on food and sauces. Take it away, Anna.
Here's what I want you guys to do. And I don't want you to tell me that it's fine. I read Vinnie's PDF in 2017. I'm good. I know what it is. I'm active in the group. I don't care. Go back and download that PDF that Vinnie wrote and formatted and reread it.
Over 300,000 times now, Anna. Over 300,000 downloads.
If you had just charged $3 a pop, you'd have almost $1 million.
Listen, if I had charged $10 a pop, I would have over $3 million.
I know.
Just on the PDF.
That's amazing.
And then I wouldn't have to beg people for money. I could just run the show.
I know, exactly. So this is on you, buddy.
I should start charging for it. Everybody, my accountant, everyone goes, why are you still giving this away?
Yeah.
I should just start charging for it.
But I got to say, here's the thing. For me, this Amazon stuff, I know we complain about it, but it really weighs on me. I have a really hard time with it because I have a hard time with A, injustice, and B, shit just not making sense.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to get your stuff out there and build a platform. And we worked the better part of 10 years doing that. So for stuff to be shadow banned and stuff, fine. I'm sensitive. Go fuck yourself. But it bothers me because I want to get this information out there and I want to be able to make a living. When I saw that my books, Eat Happy 2, sold 0 copies one week, I was like, what? 0? That's never happened. Something's wrong, but I didn't know until I knew, and it weighs on me. So I'm constantly looking for ways. And I'm just kind of like, I was going to put a 3rd book out. And now I'm like, I'll just keep putting free recipes on my website. And if people want it, they can come get it. I'm losing. I'm going to put all the energy into building the food business because I'm just losing I want to not be the face of this anymore. I want to, in the next 5 years, get to back out of it. It's exhausting to me.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's down the line. But I appreciate everybody who's out there actively telling their friends, because that's actually the real machine behind what Vinnie and I do, is everybody who's in the groups, telling people, sharing people, adding them to the groups, spreading the word of mouth, making them download the PDF. So your 101 is to download the PDF. Also on my website, I link to that. If you go to FAQs and resources, the number one thing is the NSNG starter sheet. And the number one thing is get Vinnie's PDF. On there is also Fat, a documentary, and Fat 2. Also on there is Read Fitness Confidential. Also on there is I compiled, back at the beginning of pandemic, you and I discussed an ideal NSNG shopping list. I compiled that into a great PDF, and then a listener converted it to an Excel spreadsheet so it can be editable. It's all on my site. Go get that stuff. Make use of it. So here's what you want to make. Meat. The fattier cuts, the better. Or if you're making a chicken breast, add some fat to it so you get full. Add some avocado, add some olive oil, add some coconut oil. Just make sure add some heavy cream if you're tolerating dairy. Make sure you're getting full, okay? Meat. That's going to be the main part of your plate.
Dinner.
Meat. Any kind of meat.
Meat.
And if you're doing fish or chicken, that's fine, but add some fat or you won't be full and you're going to go and binge on something, okay? The fat is going to keep you full so you don't go binge and go back to your old ways. The first 2 weeks are going to be a struggle because you're changing habits, and that's always tricky.
Yeah.
But we get it. We've all been there. We've all done it. Then you're going to stick to mostly cruciferous and leafy green vegetables. That's going to be the next big part of your plate.
Let me give a few examples of that, Anna.
Please do.
You got your broccoli, easily available everywhere.
I'm going to blow my nose off camera.
Okay. You got your cauliflower, again, easily attainable, any store, anywhere, anytime. You got your Brussels sprouts. You got your kale. Now, I don't understand why anyone would eat kale, but you got your kale. It's a cruciferous. Also, asparagus, not a cruciferous, but also good in phytonutrients. And man, I like to cook those. I like to grill them up, get them kind of burnt, a lot of salt and Cappelli olive oil on them. Mm-hmm. But those are my mainstays, right?
Cabbage, bok choy, which is a Chinese cabbage. Kohlrabi.
Yeah.
What's that one? It's not
Margot's brother, Cole.
What's that one? Romesco.
Kohlrabi is hot, isn't she?
Oh yeah, she's gorgeous.
I need to look
now. There are other kinds of vegetables that are just fine. Zucchini, yellow squash, onion, garlic, shallot, leeks, the nightshades, eggplant, tomato, red bell pepper, green bell pepper, all the bell peppers. If you eat a diet with mostly those foods, and then your fats are going to be olive oil, coconut oil, butter, and the high fat dairies. If you can tolerate heavy cream and butter, do it. The what else are we talking about here? Here's what I would do sparingly. However, if you're new to NSNG, I wouldn't be as sparing with it. I would have some nuts from time to time. Definitely get on my NSNG starter list is get a 10-pack at least of each flavor of Vinnie's nuts. Go to NSNG.
Yeah, you want Vinnie? I have one right here.
I'm telling you, it's the snack pack that will get you through everything. And I'm bringing my remaining ones with me. I have to go to LA tonight, and that's what I'm going to eat. And I have a sauce demo in the morning, and I keep those as my snacks. You want to know what to bring as snacks? Just eat those.
Yeah.
The easiest things.
This one is sitting here because, as I mentioned, I'm doing my workout in between all of my pocket. I won't even go upstairs. I'm just going to.
Can I talk about why I like this, Vinnie? And it's because here's the deal and the real deal. When people go NSNG, they want to eat nuts. And there's nothing wrong with nuts, but what happens is they buy a bag of almonds and they eat the whole bag of almonds.
Right.
When you're eating Vinnie's
carby.
Right. It can get your carb count back up. Now, you probably not going to get fat from eating a bag of almonds. However, you won't lose weight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It can keep the plateau going. dairy and nuts tend to be the most common culprits with people, but everyone's body chemistry is different. However, when you eat NSNG Foods, he's put the coconut oil and the salt in there. So you're eating it, you get full from that thing.
Yeah.
And then you don't overeat. That's the whole thing with
The whole
NSNG
idea
is
is
you
you
get
get
full.
energy. You
You
get the
get energy, you get full, and you're not tortured by this perpetual need to snack.
Right.
And that's to me the biggest that's Jesus Christ. That's worth the whole thing alone.
Yeah.
Right there. Not to have to constantly be like, I'm going to open the fridge and stare at it. You'll lose that. It's freedom is what it is.
I've been seeing guys on the Twitter, Anna, like Terry Lazaro up in Canada and other people. They're on their bikes. So another guy, another one. I should probably look it up on my Twitter. These guys, they've been big fans for a long time, and I see they put the photo up of them hiking and biking and everything, and eating the nut butters. See if I can find another one. Last night when I was going through this, there was a bunch of them, and they're all starting to put, folks, if you have the ultra fat nut butter, take pictures of it. Who was it? Somebody was, were they in Alaska or?
I should do it when I'm in front of the microphone. By the way, it's a perfect snack for me because during the day when I'm on the mic a lot, I can't eat a bunch of like stuff that gets in my teeth. Your nut butters are perfect for a snack because
Hada right there.
Look at him. He looks great.
He's hiking. He's got it in his mouth.
Yeah.
These people are using it everywhere. I'm loving it. I'm trying to remember who was in the Alps using it, and people all over the world using this stuff now.
So Vinnie, let's get back to the 101. And
sure.
I want to say that we just covered the bases of what you're going to eat for the most part. Now, if us saying all those foods make you go, I don't know what to cook, please go to my website. Please support the books, but try to find the Amazon buy button because then you're actually buying the books from me. Or just get the Kindle version and load it up on your iPad and cook in the thing. But lots of ideas. Eat Happy 1, as I mentioned earlier in the show, is a much more basic primer NSNG getting started thing. And then it's funny because everybody kind of graduated from Eat Happy 1 to Eat Happy 2. There are a bunch of recipes that will be staple recipes, but when you're ready for new recipes, get Eat Happy 2 because they're in there, baby. 160 more. Plus there's stuff at my site. I don't want to give this bitch a dime. Go to my site, get it for free. Especially my most popular recipes are all at my site for free. That's how dumb I am. I just keep giving shit away. And I'm going to continue to because I just don't have the sack to deal with Amazon anymore. So you're going to say, what about fruit?
So Anna, what about fruit?
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you guys. And I know Vinnie will back it up on this. And in fact, I want to say Lee Paulson, who's very active on Twitter. Hey, Lee, said, question, let's talk about the fruit thing along with this question, Vinnie. And then I know we'll wrap up the show.
All right.
Why is it that after I have a good low/no carb dinner, I get this big sweet tooth, like for a dessert? Should I drink water or what?
So the real answer is, I don't know why Lee is getting a sweet tooth. Some people are just so used to having, as the British say, pudding after dinner, that their mind just switches to, okay, I've eaten something, I've eaten the savory stuff now, give me sugar. And it could take a long time to get rid of that.
Which is funny because you do eat the steak and you're like, I am full, I cannot eat another bite. And somehow magically 15 minutes later, you're like, I wish I had a piece of dark chocolate.
Yeah. And it's just years and years of conditioning and reinforcement where you just have to get away from it,
Yeah.
Lee,
try to not do it for a while.
He's a longtime fan. He's been around since the beginning. He knows what to do. You just got to fight that feeling off. And guess what? After a while, that feeling will start to subside. And then you'll wonder how you ever had that feeling.
Well, so question for you about the fruit thing. I know with NSNG, I rarely eat any fruit. I might have an apple like every other month maybe once a quarter, I'll have an apple. I'm like, I want an apple and I'll eat it and then that'll be done. But I used to eat apples all the time. I used to feel like I had to eat bananas because that was healthy. I was so glad to find out I didn't have to eat bananas because I really don't like bananas. but I do enjoy a berry, especially in the summer when it's in season.
Right.
So would you not tell Lee that he could have a few berries with some heavy cream, or would you say try to break it all together?
Look, you could do that if you want to bridge the gap, but someone like Lee, spend some time just staying away from it, man. Just,
Right.
just look, if you feel, I, I don't know. I don't know if I have the Zen type thing. Like if I feel like doing something, I just kind of relax and breathe into it and just, that's how I manage my pain. I don't take drugs or anything else.
Right.
Um, I do, if it gets really bad, I'll take a little Advil or something, but I'll just sit with my physical pain and breathe into it and just, live with it. Just sit down and take some deep breaths, man. Just get past it. And
Yeah.
then once you have it under control, if you want to have the occasional berries with cream, do that. But you don't want to trade one bad habit
Right.
for, of course, berries and cream is not a bad habit, but you're taking a habit and you're just mutating. I know a lot of people when they quit drinking, they'll start smoking, right?
That's very common, actually.
Yeah, you got rid of, or some people when they start drinking, they start eating sweets. I
I
know
was going to say they will eat a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, and they'll just, it's like, yeah, great. At least you're not drinking anymore. But now we have to look at this other issue, right? And so yeah, Lee, try to just hold off for a while. If you want to have the occasional, hey, it's Saturday night, I think I'm going to have some berries with cream or something like that. Yeah, fine. But other than that, you need to kind of stay away.
I mean, I will say for me, the taste is everything. So if the berries aren't in season, there goes that idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, enjoy it when it's in season. But I'm also the type who's like, I can't overeat fruit. Some people will overeat fruit. I have a couple bites and it's sweet enough for me. I'm like, that's great. It's done. But like my father-in-law, Al, who was on the show last week, he saw a cherry and apricot stand and bought 4 pounds of apricots and 2 pounds of cherries. And I had to throw, it was so sad. I had to throw 75% of it out. He ate about 20% and the rest was ate about 5%. Like it was just, he just is like, oh, I love it. He loves his fruit. He'll eat 7 corn on the cobs. He'll eat, you know what I mean? He just like is that guy.
Wow.
He's Big Al. And he does nothing in a small way.
I can't remember last time I had any kind of corn, including popcorn.
Oh, I will have a corn on the cob once a summer when it's in season.
I just can't. I'm trying to remember.
It's nice. It tastes really sweet, by the way.
But you see, I don't want the inflammation. I
don't blame you.
Just don't.
I don't blame you.
So Anna, have we done it here?
Yeah, we need to tell the people about the Villa Cappelli olive oil.
Villa Cappelli, folks, go get it. I was just talking about it earlier in the show. I use it all the time. As a matter of fact, I did my old Villa Cappelli trick the other day because I've been walking up and down this mountain. And I did bring a few of my ultra fats, but I also brought one of my little vials of Villa Cappelli with, I added some of my ultra salt to it, and it tastes like a caprese salad. Ooh. I bring these little glass vials with me when I go out, yes. And it's just pure fat. You just drink it down. Energy. It's a great source of energy. It's also great on a salad. I cook with it. I use it for everything, folks. Villa Cappelli olive oil, the longest running sponsor of this show. Go check it out. Anna, what do you want to say about it?
I know that the 3-liter tins are still not in stock, but they actually might be by the time this podcast comes out. If not, just go to oil, click on the 3-liter tin, which you'll see it says this temporarily sold out. You can enter your email address to be notified. And I entered mine last week. As soon as it is, it's going to be a free for all. So make sure you respond to Steven's email when he sends it out and get your olive oil. Use the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE. You'll get 10% off your order. They've been honoring that for years. I can't believe it. I honestly don't see how they make any money. But listen, it's a good product, an independent, owned by one guy, who's making amazing products for us. Started by Paul Cappelli, who passed away last year, and we miss him dearly. And Steven is keeping it going. Thank God.
Yeah. Steven was his husband. And when Paul passed away, Steven could have just walked away, could have sold the company, but he wanted to keep it pure. He wanted to keep it simple. Go
That's
check
right.
it out. Villa Cappelli olive oil, promo code Vinny, 10% off. No wimpy why. Anna Vocino has 2 books out there. You may be able to buy one of them or none of them,
Who
depending.
knows?
But they may or may not be on Amazon. Go check.
Go check.
Eat Happy and Eat Happy 2. Also, she has Eat Happy Kitchen with all the sauces.
Oh, we
You
didn't
guys
talk about
know.
the sauces. We can talk about that next time.
We'll talk about on the Monday show. The next Monday
Okay.
show, we'll talk about the sauces.
Great.
So go check all of that out. Anna, are you going to be somewhere with the sauces where people can find you?
I
This
think
is
by the
coming
time
out next Friday, a week from
by the
today.
time this airs, I will have already done the Pasadena appearance.
Right.
But we're about to sign on with a pretty big distributor in the Southwest. And so what that will
Piggly
mean
Wiggly.
is it's Piggly Wiggly. Have you ever
Winn-Dixie.
when I was a kid, Piggly Wiggly and Winn-Dixie were always a mess. I don't know
Yeah.
if they've cleaned up their acts since then, but
We had a Winn-Dixie. It was
a mess, right?
It was a colossal pig fuck.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like Winn-Dixie. At least we're not Piggly Wiggly. That was their
Yeah, and
motto.
Piggly Wiggly was Piggly Wiggly. At least we're not Winn-Dixie.
Exactly. So I will be doing a lot more grocery store demos because we're going to be getting into more grocery stores. And if you live in the Southwest, like I made the announcement on the Monday show, if you're in Arizona or in Las Vegas and you shop at AJ's or Natural Grocers, please request the sauces. If you're in San Diego and you shop at Jimbo's, request the sauces. I believe the first store in LA we're getting into is Lassen's, and that actually is Santa Barbara, Ventura, all the way down to Orange County. They have 11 locations, and that should be happening soon. Fingers crossed. Who knows? Maybe I just jinxed it. Maybe Amazon will write them and be like, no, shut her down. Don't do it.
Amazon's like, whoa.
Amazon's like, hold on.
trying to
She
sell
snaked it.
something?
Don't do that.
No. Don't go with her.
No, it's on the way. But you guys requesting the products helps, and then let me know because I will write the buyers right after I hear that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about grocery is like we thought the entertainment industry is good at ghosting, grocery's great at ghosting, but they're just overwhelmed, and I get that. They have people like us writing, "Hey, carry my brands." But the difference is you and I have people to go in store and buy things. You guys want to buy things and support us, so we want to like tag team the buyers that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Folks, you know what I have going on. You know, we have all of my products, and
is the movie still on track?
The movie is still on track. I'm talking to my distributor. You know, this movie is so hot, people might not want to touch it. I'm really going there with this movie, folks.
You are. I
have
saw
to
the end.
distribute- I sent Anna the last 3 minutes of the movie.
Is that still the last 3 minutes of the movie?
Oh yeah, that's the way the movie ends. And this movie is so hot that distributors are just like, we just don't want to touch it. You know, so I may be distributing this movie myself. That's how weird it's gotten for me. But folks, I have a few things, you know, before, you know, for this podcast, before you go to Amazon, go to vinnytautories.com, click through the banner. It puts coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. We also have the superfan page at vinnytautories.com. Go check that out and see what that is. Let me cut off the video at this point.
Bye, Video Nation.